Hello, everyone. Welcome to my last video, which is the number 3 part of the series. And today I am going to present the capstone on the banking application at MITxPRO coding bootcamps. All right, so for the part 3, I am going to talk about the deployment with additional features, followed by the demonstration of the app, and lastly is the reflections. So the questions, where did I deploy my app? If you take a look, I have mentioned in my previous 2 videos, including the milestone number 2, I have used the Amazon Web Services, AWS free bucket. And the reason I like that because it's a brand name recognition. As you can see, this is the Amazon S3 bucket, and this is what we use to deploy. Now, the question is, where is it hosted? Based on this logic over here, it is now AWS S3 bucket. And this is, if I put my cursor over here, you can see that's my Amazon AWS where I hosted. Did I use a Docker? And the answer is yes, because as you can see, this is also the Docker that I subscribed. In addition, down here is also where I subscribe my MongoDB and Redis. For those who get curious, what is a Docker? Docker is just basically an open source containerization platform. It enables developers to package applications into containers, standardized executable components combining application source code with operating system library and dependencies, which require to run on the code in any environment. Now, what challenges did I experience? I was more familiar with AWS than Heroku, even though many of my classmates chose Heroku because it's free and it's a lot cheaper. Now, in addition, due to the hectic work schedule while taking the bootcamp, that was another challenge which I faced, which I'm not sure if anyone else or other classmates may have mentioned. Now, additional features, these are the features, the 6 features recommended in the rubric. It's not required. So for the first one, I was encouraged to define the roles for different users, such as employee versus customers for authorizations. Given the deadlines, is what I call work in progress, didn't have the time to meet the deadlines. The second one is what we call the money transfer between users versus the amount transfer between checking versus saving accounts. The fourth, encouragement on future development is what we call the assignment of random account for the new account sign up. User profile updates that are persistent, and if you're into machine learning and artificial intelligence, nowadays that's a thing that it can use the Google TensorFlow and what we call the convolutional neural network to capture the image of a check and automatically describe how much you want to deposit. And these are what we call the, I call the WIP, meaning work in progress, given the due date. Now for the applications demonstrations, what I'd like to do, if you were to click on that, it will take you directly to this landing page over here. And as you can see, this is from my milestone number 2. I want to make it more humorous by calling it James Global Credit Union, meaning GCU, and using the cryptocurrencies rather than US dollars for blockchain technology. So to create an account, I can type it in. As you can see, these are the names. Let's say I just type in John's right there, and I can put in John again. And let's say if I don't do anything, I type in 1, 2, 3 only. You know what? Let's say I don't put in, as you can see, it's disabled to create accounts. But if I type in 1, 2, 3, it says a real email is required. So let's say if I type in, I acknowledge that, and I just type in, let's say something, Yahoo. And when I type in this, it says password needs at least 8 characters. So if I type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, create account, and it says accounts, welcome to the new GCU customers, account successfully created, and it allows me to take me to the next. Do I want to add another account? In this case, I don't. I can make a deposit. I'm going to close that. I don't want to memorize it. So let's say if I put in $9,000, as I tested earlier, right? Because I didn't delete anything, so it stays in there. And it says $9,000 successfully created. If I put in, let's say, negative numbers, 999, it will say a positive value is needed. So I just say okay. So for that reason, I can put in, let's say, 1 more thousands to make it 10,000 total. Now, if I were to withdraw, the question, can I put in a negative values, 9,900? And it will say, nope, please enter positive values. And if I put in, let's say, I want to withdraw 20,000, and it will say, nope, I cannot withdraw more than what I have. And if I say I want to withdraw, let's say, $8,000, then it will be updated to 9,000. And as you can see, these are the statements that you can see, and all the data, as you can see, that I have run on the testings. Reminder, if I log in, I can get to see all of this, but if I were to log out, what happens next is when I go to here, it won't allow me to see anything unless I log in. So going back to home, again, if I put my cursors on the create accounts, it says create a new user. If I put my cursors over here, oops, I don't mean to do that. Put in deposit, say put in some cash in, that's a message that pops up. So having said that, I'd like to continue on this one. So reflection, if I start the project today, how would I structure my code differently? For the front end hierarchy, I would structure it by using different reusable components and tokens. I would observe the authentication state by using context rather than login messages as a placeholder. I probably use redirect. That's for the front end. For the back end, I would use the web tokens to authenticate calls to API routes. So relevant user data returned back to respective components via API from query. And if I start my projects today, what would I complete? Or additional features that I would like to build, as mentioned earlier, due to the hectic work schedules. These are the things I call in WIP, meaning work in progress. Probably continue to work on money transfer between user, transfer between saving versus checking, random account numbers that not duplicated for new user account, user profiles, and deposit check if you're into AI and machine learning or artificial intelligence. So at this point, I just want to say thank you to the MITxPRO, to all my peers on Slack, and I am going to stop the presentations. Thank you for everything again.